Quick disclaimer before I start this video, I only played the PlayStation 5 version of this beta and I didn't get to try the PC version. I heard about the awful optimization on the PC side and the game running really poorly on many of the users' machines, and obviously there is a PSN requirement to create like an account and sync it with the game on PC, which is horrible. So I'm not gonna talk about that stuff that much in this video, but I figured I should acknowledge it. If you want more in-depth discussion about it, I unfortunately didn't get to experience it, so this is not the video for that. I'm gonna talk about my experience with this game, and Marvel Tokons is a game that have a lot to live up to, because there is a Dragon Ball FighterZ crowd that wants this game to be its spiritual successor. There is a Marvel vs. Capcom audience that wants this game to be Marvel vs. Capcom 4. There is the anime players in general who want a new big game, now that Strive is kind of in its last legs. So this game have a lot to live up to, and it's hard to please everyone. Marvel Tokon gets a lot right. I think this is a game that have a ton of potential. I personally really enjoyed my time with this game. It's some of the most fun that I had with a fighting game in recent memory, and I'm gonna be playing this game. I'm gonna probably main it with Street Fighter 6, gonna be making content for it. It was a lot of fun for me, but I also understand that the game have a lot of issues. There's a lot of stuff that they could take some player feedback with, adjust, and result ultimately in a more enjoyable experience. Now with this beta, I mostly played with 3 characters. Obviously the first couple of days there was a lot of network issues, so I only got to try the training mode, and thank God that they finally added a training mode to this beta, because now we started to see a lot more of what this game have to offer. People were coming with combos, setups, and all of that, and I focused mostly on 3 characters in this build. The first one was Wolverine, the second one was Magic, and the third was Magneto. And I focused on these 3 characters because they were new, I didn't get to play them in the closed beta, and I really enjoyed my time with all 3 of them. And look at Magic, oh my god, Magic got to be one of the best looking and one of the coolest looking characters in this game, and she's absurdly strong and she's easy to use. I think maybe that was a part of it, but she was very popular in this beta. And since we are on the topic of Magic, just take a look at how good this game looks and how good this game sounds. Like the presentation in general in Marvel Tokon is absolutely top tier. This is top of the class, right? It looks extremely polished, and the menu design and everything is super convenient, super cool. Honestly, this is top tier stuff. Like if you had issues with game like City of the Wolves and the presentation not being up to snuff, Tokon absolutely blows that stuff out of the water. This is a beautiful looking game and the characters look absolutely beautiful. Now, one of the coolest things about this open beta is that they took a lot of feedback from the previous ones, where now the way that the assist works are a little bit better, but still leaves a little bit of room of clunkiness. Now, in the neutral or in combos, in hit or in block stun, you are free to choose a manual assist or the regular, or I should say generic assist, right? Like I can call the projectile assist or that lariat or just random tackle assist, and that is really cool. And you can see that with the combos and the combo possibility. Now that everyone is posting their combos, the combo game especially is way cooler. We are doing way better stuff than we used to do in the previous beta, and in the previous betas, auto combos were a huge point of concern and everyone was complaining about auto combos. That feels much less so in the build that we just played, because the auto combos doesn't come out on whiff, and the manual combos we're doing are dealing so much more damage to the point where auto combos are not a big deal anymore. Unfortunately, I also think the assists still got some clunkiness to them, because you can't call an assist on whiff. Like you have to either be in hit stun block stun or in the neutral to call out an assist. If say I whiff the light and with the light being whiffed I called an assist out, it's not gonna come out. And that makes things not feel as responsive as they should be. I don't know what's up with this design choice, but it sometimes you will feel like I know I called the assist but it just doesn't come out, and that can feel a little bit frustrating. Now when it comes to combos and just pressure in general, I talked about how there's a lot of improvements, but also there is something about it that is just clunky, and that is because how the Magic series works in this game. Magic series is where you go like light, medium, heavy, launcher, etc. Right? Now in Marvel Tokons there is currently a design choice where you can only do a maximum of 4 moves in a string. Like you can say in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 where you do light, 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 medium, heavy, launcher. That doesn't work. Like you have to do light, medium, heavy, down, heavy, or medium, down, medium, heavy, down, heavy. It got to be 4 moves. If you're saying going for light, medium, down, medium, heavy, down, heavy, that's not gonna come out. You are logged at only 4 moves, and because the assists in general have very little block stun and moves and strings in general are very negative on block, it makes the pressure game feel a little bit like it's not as smooth as it should be. And I feel like this is where the active tag is gonna come into the play, because this is a game that's still very young and people are still just exploring what are their options and what they could do with it. So this is an area where I think it leaves a lot of room for growth and a lot of room for improvement. Marvel Tokon is a game that it's an assist game, it's a tag game, you can play it as a tag game, and although the game doesn't give you an absolute clear incentive to do so, if you are always switching between characters and keep switching between them, your meter usage and your damage is gonna skyrocket compared to someone that is just playing a main and 3 assists. But main and 3 assists are still absolutely viable as well, and I think that is the entire design choice behind it. They want to make it so that you are able to tag, and I think the meta is gonna be the active tagging going forward, but at the same time you are still have the option to play the game as 1 main and 3 assists, and both of them being viable, because it is a lot to ask players to just main 4 characters. I feel like that is something that we do have to accept. This game is a game that imposes a lot of limitations, and where this is an area where I know that there are a lot of people who are not gonna love, I personally kind of like that. I've seen a lot of people compare this to Grand Blue Fantasy, and you know what, back when I did my favorite fighting games of all time, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus was way up there. I personally love what they are doing with this game. I see a lot of potential for growth, I see a lot of potential for tweaking, but also I kind of love having some structure to it. Yes, there is a little bit of like stiffness with the movement, yes, there is a little bit of delay with the air dashes and stuff, but games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 3 are simply not gonna happen again in the modern day and age of video game and fighting games. That's how I feel, at least. So overall I would say that the combat is a huge step up from the previous betas, maybe because now we had training mode so we know a little bit more about what we're doing, but the way the assist happened as well is a lot more fun, and then generally as we are learning more and more about the game, we're gonna be unlocking our freedom, and I find that to be really cool. I had a ton of fun with it. Now I just want to talk a little bit about the overall experience and the experience with this game and playing it online, because I feel like there's a lot of work to be done when it comes to the online of Marvel Tokon. The first thing I want to say is, by the time the beta was about to end, by the final days, the final couple of hours, I was only fighting against PlayStation users. I stopped playing against PC players altogether, and that's because when you're playing against PC, there is usually a lot of lag, and I feel like that lag is because of the desync, because of the game's frame rate dipping on their end, because the optimization is poor and they can't run the game very well. Matches, crossplay matches were really laggy, and the game in general, I would say the online, there is this bug where it will say that the rollback is now at 8 frames and the connection gets horrible. I don't know why. I never seen that in the closed betas. That were only PlayStation, and I've seen that much less on the PlayStation only matches compared to having crossplay on. And that is something that they absolutely gotta work on, that is something that they absolutely gotta fix. Because I don't want this game to be only played as a PlayStation fighter, and you have to remember that a ton of users on PlayStation are typically on Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi modem on PlayStation 5 is atrocious. Like, it is the worst Wi-Fi modem I have ever seen for a console. The Switch have better Wi-Fi modems than PlayStation. Like, you can have 100 download speed and PlayStation will only pick up 30. I don't know why. The signal and how it works, it's just awful. So more often than not, you're gonna be fighting against Wi-Fi, which is bad anyways. So your choices are, do I fight Wi-Fi that is bad, or do I fight low frame rate, these things, and random jump to 8 frames of lags or 8 frames of rollback. It's something that was really rough, and by the end of the beta it was really getting on my nerves. I have no doubt that they're gonna fix it because this is a huge deal, and obviously Arc already showed with a number of games that they done prior that they're able to deliver a game with amazing netcode, so I'm not totally worried about it, and I know that I played the closed beta prior that had better netcode, so hopefully by the time of launch this game will be in a more polished state. Overall, I really enjoyed this game. I'm gonna give it a fair shot. It's the most fun that I had. If I talked about 2XKO, if I talked about the other games that came out recently like City of the Wolves, Invincible Versus, this is the one that I had the most fun in by far. Maybe a big part of it is because I really like the characters. I am super shallow and I really like the presentation, but I can take a look at this magic and not say, damn, that is magic. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just shallow like that. Anyways, what are your thoughts on Marvel Tokons, Fighting Souls, and the beta? Did you enjoy your time with it? Did you not? I would love to hear your thoughts all about it in the comment section below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.